My name is AJ, I'm a dog trainer, and today we're going to be talking about whether a Belgian Malinois is right for you and your family and your current household needs, current lifestyle, right? So when somebody asks me if I think they should get a Belgian Malinois, my first response usually is why? Why do you want a Belgian Malinois? What is it about this specific breed that you desire this dog? Is it because they look cool and they're super athletic and they're very closely related to the German Shepherds, but they're not quite a German Shepherd? Is it because you saw them on the police department's page, or if you saw them military, or that new movie that came out like a year or two ago called Dog? What is it about this dog? Is it because you're interested in sport work, whether it's personal protection, protection sports, such as PSA, IGP, Mondio, French ring, any of those? Do you want to go into detection work, whether it's explosives, narcotics, cell phones, or AKC scents like birch? What is it about this specific breed that makes you want to makes you want to get it? Do you have a farm, right? Do you have a large area that makes you have a need for a working dog that will help you herd your animals, right? Originally, this dog breed was made or was bred to herd livestock. So with that being said, they're very energetic, overall just a little neurotic. Wow, an ice cream man's here, great. And they're just a go, go, go type of dog, right? So when people see them and think they're cool, and a lot of people, whether it's a dog trainer or even a Belgian Malinois owner, will try to sway somebody asking them if they should get a Belgian Malinois, or that they're going to get a Belgian Malinois, to try to sway them away from it. Why? Because too many people are purchasing or adopting these Malinois based on the cool factor, based on the fact that they saw them in a movie, or based on how they look in general, but they don't take into consideration how much mental stimulation and physical exercise these dogs might need, right? I've been asked so many times, like, oh my God, that dog takes so much exercise, I'm sure, every day, right? I have two Belgian Malinois. Zuri, my 1.5-year-old Belgian Malinois, she's a female, and then my male, his name is Knox, he's 3.5, he's also Belgian Malinois. The key to these dogs, and well, any dog, but mainly working dog breeds, is that they need to have something to do, right? And that's why they're called working dogs. They need to have some type of work. But the real question you need to ask yourself is, am I going to dedicate time and energy to train these dogs? Because most of what you're doing with these dogs is mental stimulation, whether it's you're trying to train this dog for tracking and training, trailing, or if it's a sport in general, or just straight on obedience, right? All of it is mental stimulation for these dogs. But the best way I try to describe it to people is, hey, anytime you go learn something new, like for me, I hate math. I don't like math. I'm more of a social science type of guy. I like history and I like psychology, but I don't like math. Anytime I'm learning something new or I'm crunching numbers for a long period of time, it is very mentally draining. It's the same thing for dogs. When you're doing something with a lot of obedience or mental stimulation, whether it's them having to use their nose or them having to work with you to get something done, obedience, detection, whatever it might be within that realm, that tires a dog out way quicker than if you were to go on a 5-mile walk. I've heard some people say, oh, I want to get a Belgian Malinois because I want to go get into hiking. I want to go do stuff with my dog. I want to go running with my dog. Great, but understand that just because you're running or hiking with these dogs does not mean that they're going to get tired. I've been on 5-mile walks in the past with my dogs. I've seen other people go on long walks with their dogs or runs. Give it a 20-30 minute break. When it comes back, it's going to take a quick nap and they're going to be ready to go again. And people are like, what in the hell did I get myself into? These dogs are go, 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 right? So if the main reason you want to get a dog is because you want to start exercising more or this, great, but understand that they absolutely need more than just physical stimulation and physical training. They also need mental stimulation. Mental stimulation goes way further. If you can train a dog for 10-15 minutes a day, twice a day, with the help of a trainer and the help of a lot of other people mainly, instead of just by yourself. If this is your first working breed, try to get with a trainer and try to get with somebody else that you trust in for them to help you with the training aspect of it. Because 10 to 15 minutes a day, 2 to 3 times a day, will work out a lot more than just a 3 to 5 mile walk or run with your dog. Now, if you want to get into sport work, a Belgian Malinois is great. If you want to get into detection work, like scent, whether it's cadaver, search and rescue, detection with narcotics, explosives, great. Belgian Malinois are great. But then you also start needing to look into a good potential breeder, because not all breeders were breeding for the same type of genetics and outcomes of the dog. But that is for another video. The purpose of this video is to tell you, try to help you decide whether Belgian Malinois is right for you. I'm not trying to sway you and tell you that, hey, if you've never owned a Belgian Malinois, you should not own one. No. If you've never owned a Belgian Malinois, but you want to own one, people should not be swaying you against owning one if you're doing it for the right reasons, right? Too many people try to sway other people, potential Belgian Malinois owners, from getting a Mal because they're like, oh, it's my first Malinois. How are you supposed to have a Malinois for your first time if people are telling you not to get one if you never had one? Eventually, you have to cross that threshold of never owning a Malinois if you want to get a Malinois and have that experience with a Malinois, right? When people say, no, you shouldn't get one because you've never had a Malinois, then that's kind of counterproductive and a double standard, because everyone started with nothing and had no background in a Malinois at one point, right? My male, Knox, was my first Malinois. I didn't have any experience with Malinois prior to that. After about 3 years, 2.5 years, I got my second Belgian Malinois, but between then I had been working with several other Belgian Malinois and other working breeds, Dutch Shepherds, German Shepherds, Dobermans, Cane Corsos, working breeds in general that emphasize certain attributes. My point is that if you want to get a Belgian Malinois and you're really prepared to do the training that comes with it, don't let people sway you away from it, because everybody started out that's somewhere, right? The key is to getting the right amount of help and training to help guide you in the right direction, so that way your dog, your Belgian Malinois, isn't breaking up your house and chewing up freaking the wall, or destroying the whole household because they are creating their own fun and their own type of games to satisfy themselves, right? If you are able to manage it and you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to get a Belgian Malinois and I can definitely do it because I want to go into protection work, I want to go do sport work, and I will 100% go do these trainings and learn, and I want this dog for so many reasons, and I can dedicate time to them, then go and get a Belgian Malinois, right? But if you're on the fence and you're like, hey, I live in an apartment, and I've met people that live in apartments and they make it work, but people that live in an apartment and think that a Belgian Malinois and a Great Dane are the same thing in a family environment. They are not, right? Great Danes are great couch potatoes. A lot of bully breeds, Frenchies, American Bullies. I used to have an American Bully. Great couch potatoes. And they're great family friends, right? But you can't compare something like that and get a Malinois and think that you're going to put in the same amount of effort that you might have put into your Frenchie, because it's a total different world, and it's not even in the same field, right? You're going to be like, what the hell? My Frenchie never did any of that. Yeah, well, your Frenchie is cool with just laying down and sleeping for 6 hours of the day while you're watching TV and Netflix and chilling, right? So understand that it's a whole different dynamic. I set time aside every day to take my dogs out multiple times a day to do some training. And then throughout the week, we also train with other people. So that way, not only me as a trainer, I surround myself with other people, so that way I can continue to grow and move forward, instead of like, oh, I'm the trainer, so I don't have to do any of this. No, like, I want my dogs to improve and move forward, but I surround myself with other people that want the same. But again, I set that time aside so that way my dogs aren't losing their minds here at home. If I have extra time, we're usually training. So try to find that in your heart and in your mind that, like, hey, I need to set time aside for these dogs, or this dog that I might potentially get. And I'm willing to invest in a trainer, or I'm willing to go learn from somebody, so that way I can manage and train them. And, I always tell people, the more you train and the more you're able to manage your dog, the happier you are at home, and the better bond you and the dog have. Because if you're able to communicate with each other, then you understand what each other wants. It becomes a lot easier. But if you're able to tap into their mind and mentally stimulate them and teach them something new, you're going to be like, wow, my dog, I didn't even know my dog could do that. And then as soon as they do that, you're like, oh, I can teach them a fancy heel. I can teach them this. You start to get excited because you see your dog picking up on the things that you start training them. And that's kind of that snowball effect. So to recap, Belgian Malinois are typically, nowadays, they're kind of getting watered down a bit because so many people are reproducing them for their looks and what people think of them. But to recap, if you are looking into getting a Belgian Malinois, really think about this. Am I willing to put time and effort to train this Malinois, to take it out, physically stimulate it, but also mentally stimulate? To me, it's like having another child, right? Not that I have kids, but from people I've met with that have Malinois or other working breeds, they are dedicating as much time to these dogs as they are their kids at times, especially during the first year, because it's such a crucial training period in time for the dog to be growing, and you want to set a good foundation. So if you're willing to set time aside for your dog to train, to go out, and understand that they're constantly going to be needing to do something. They need an outlet, right? If you're willing and able to do something with that dog on a consistent basis, then you're going to be just fine. Get a trainer, go learn with your dog, have fun with your dog. The more fun you have, the better the relationship is, right? If you're willing to put in time and effort, then 100% get yourself a Belgian Malinois. Go explore the different avenues, whether it's detection, bite work, AKC sports, whether it's like barn hunt, just there's so many different avenues. Go and have fun with your dog. But if you think that having a Belgian Malinois is cool and it's just going to be totally fine, it's not. It's not going to be fine, because they aren't like Frenchies. They aren't like Great Danes, right? They need an outlet. And if they aren't given an outlet by you or the other family members inside the household, then they're going to find an outlet, and it's usually going to be chaotic and cause some type of damage to the interior of your house, or when they are left to their own devices, they are the worst, right? So don't think that having a Belgian Malinois, you can just not manage it like you would a smaller dog, because they are two opposite ends of the spectrum. A couch potato versus a dog that constantly needs some type of outlet and work. That's also why they're considered working breeds, because they need some type of work, right? So just think about all that, and if you come to the conclusion like, hey, you know what, maybe a Belgian Malinois is not right for me and my family, then great. Like, thank you so much for thinking about adopting these dogs out of a lot of these shelters that are having a bunch of Malinois right now. But this isn't right for my family. Thank you so much, because the likelihood of them being taken from the shelter and not working out with the family is high if the family is not prepared to train and do other things with that dog. But now if you're willing to do some type of training or you want to get a puppy, that's great too. I think great ownership just goes a long way, regardless of whatever type of breed it is. You just have to have a heart-to-heart with yourself and think, okay, cool. I love dogs. I want to go further in this dog stuff, or I'm willing to do more stuff with my dog. And that will be your answer. I almost forgot to mention, if you liked and found this video useful, please like and subscribe. If there are any other, if there are any other dog breeds or information regarding dog training and just dog lifestyle in general that you would like to know more about, please comment down below. I would love to make a video about that. Knox, Zuri, and I, right, girl? Okay. Would love to help out. We'll see you.